Kumusta and congratulations, you've made it. You have just tuned in to the dopest podcast in the universe. Behind This Beat is a show where we take flight and connect with Filipino creatives locally and abroad, representing the land of a thousand islands, the Philippines. Let's get the show started and give it up for our hosts, Fat Boy Lim and Boy Graduate. This is Behind This Beat.
Yo, it's another.
Yo.
It's yeah. Thank God it's Friday, man. You know, I always excited when it's Friday because I know we're gonna do this show, man. You know, we've been doing this for a while now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is our 8th episode. Welcome, everyone. If you're tuning in right now, the first time you're watching this is Behind This Beat. Now, the idea of the show, actually, we created this couple months back where we're looking at a lot of different artists and producers in the Beat This PH website, and we just realized that, hey, you know what? Let's do an in-depth interview, not just looking at just the articles that we release on Beat This, but maybe like talk to the artist or the producer that is in this realm that we do or we cover in this on this website. So, my name is Fat Boy Lim,
and this is Boy Graduate.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
You look tired.
Before we went live, I just kind of looked at you and just said, "Oh man, big week." But like you said, glad to be here. Glad to be interviewing a new exciting guest and bringing the Filipino sound to everyone listening and tuning in at home. Shout out to you guys.
This is actually our 8th episode now. Can you still remember who our guests, man? It's like I can't even remember because it's that many. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, we had different guests from, like, of course, coming from the Philippines to even like the Filipinos globally. So if you want to check out the previous episodes, the best you could do is always just subscribe and follow us on all our, on all the podcast platforms that are there. Now, if you didn't know, we're already on Apple. So that's awesome. So I know a lot of people use Apple podcast abroad. So yeah, we are on Apple Podcast. We're also on Google Podcast, Spotify, and all the streaming podcast apps that are out there. But the best way to really know about everything we do, we just go to www.beatthisph.com for more information of what we do. Now, I'm so excited. But before I actually introduce this artist or this guest of ours, I just want to also inform everyone who's listening right now. Be sure to follow us also on our social media. Because it's really, we would love to hear from you what you think about the show and everything that what we do on Beat This. So just go to @BeatThisPH on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, we're all there. And another thing that I would like to inform everyone is that every Friday we do have this new playlist on Spotify now called Fresh Fridays. So it's like Filipino fire tracks that is like once New Music Friday comes in, we just research that whole thing, and you don't have to research or you don't have to listen to the whole New Music Fridays. We take care of we take care of it for you, so that you don't have to listen to a lot of content. We just look for the best ones there, and just follow that. The work is done already, so you go there, just look for Fresh Fridays or Beat This PH on Spotify. There's a lot of playlists that we have there. So you should, I hope you're going to enjoy that playlist. And I think we're done with our announcement. And how about you, Boy Graduate? I think it's time to reveal who our guest is, right? So, right now, I just want you guys to welcome LA-based Filipino-American artist, producer, and rapper-songwriter. He is known for his multidimensional sound and visceral performance. Let's welcome to Behind This Beat, Ru AREYOU.
Hey, what's happening, bro?
How y'all doing? Graduate, what's up, Fat Boy Lim?
Yay.
Yes,
getting it in.
So just where you at right now, man? Just tell the listeners where you at. What you look like you have a really nice setup there.
Thank you, bro. Well, I'm at the homie Hella Sush's loft in Sacramento, California. Shout out Hella Sush, my brother. He's actually back here over here. You can't see him, but he's chilling.
I seen him
Yeah.
looking at the DJ kits before.
Oh yeah, you know he got the equipment out here, so you know
Seen that.
exactly what's happening over here.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
And how's Sacramento treating you?
Sacramento is home, so I just been recharging, being with family. My niece, she's 2 years old. She's
Yeah.
a ball of energy. Oh man, it's crazy at the house. But for the most part, recharging, and it's been nice, bro. It's been really nice.
yeah, Ru Are You Here is I've known him I think late last year, and I'm gonna go into the in depth of how I actually found out about him later. But to see what he's doing now, it's just so amazing because it's been a while, like since I got to know him, and then now seeing the stuff that he's been doing, it's just like, yeah, good shout out to you, bro. Like it's really good stuff, you know.
Hmm.
Thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
and if you guys didn't know, Ru Aryu's song "New Energy" was the chosen one for the Chosen Dozen, which means that on the Chosen Dozen we have a playlist. It's a weekly playlist that you guys have to follow. It's 12 of amazing tracks that are out there. Now, the idea of the Chosen Dozen is to really like, everything there is really like fire. But of course, every week we change it. It's not a countdown, but it's really more of like, sort of like an awareness for everyone to know what is the best out there. So because Ru Are was there for a week, for a month, that means he is the chosen one. So you couldn't beat him, man. Like, he's always just there every week. So congratulations on that, man. Like that's amazing for us. Like, yeah. So he has a track called New Energy. That was really what's started with him on like promoting like a music video and all that. So we're gonna talk about that. But before that, let's go back in time, like, and talk about how you started in the music scene or in the industry.
Well, I've been making music since I was 13. Um, Found out about the Neptunes and NERD, and then once I found out about them, like that shit changed my whole world. From the way I dressed, from the way I looked at things, my whole perspective in life, and everything in general. Um, but fast forward, moving forward to like age 16, I I had a crew called Hearing Aid. That is way back then. So I was a producer for the group, but I wanted rappers to rap on my stuff, and eventually I started to pick up rap, and usually people like, like they find their journey in different ways, but that's how I found the art of writing and things like that. But as I progressed, I learned about sampling, and big fan of Jay Dilla, Flying Lotus, Pete Rock, that era. And so from like the age of like 18 to 22, 23, I was like but sampling, like digging records, looking for the fattest loop, and just living that life for a minute, just uh, going with the whole drum racks, and just like drum machines, MPCs. That's all I did was just cut up records.
Yeah.
And
What was how? I mean, sorry. How old were you when you had your first release on Spotify? Like, what was that like? 2015, right?
yeah, like 2015. So during that time, I was still actually a little bit earlier. So like probably 2013, 14. I was releasing just instrumentals. I was just kind of releasing music from like a producer standpoint, just releasing beats and taking that as the artist route with being a producer. But then eventually I started to fall into writing music again and like rapping. But that didn't happen till like 2016.
Yeah, right. That's so cool how and any day can like really change your perspective at such a young age like that. That's like crazy.
Yeah, it was just the sound. Like I was just so intrigued by like how you can do that. I was wondering like how do you make this stuff, you know? And then
Mm.
the funny thing about that is I had a friend across the street. He was a little bit older than me. He had a beat up Buick parked up in the front, and he would always see me outside playing, and he would like wave me down and be like, "Yo, check out these beats." And it would be nothing but like 808 and like claps and stuff like that. And I thought it was so dope. And eventually I asked him like, how do you make these beats? And then he was like, yo, I got you. It's the software called Fruity Loops. So the next day he burnt it on a CD, gave it to me, and then I downloaded it and put it on the family computer. Back in the day, we had a CompuServe. It was like one of the first computers ever.
And,
And,
yeah, I
And
can.
that ran Fruity Loops. Whew.
yeah, man, and like was just trying to make music off of the computer. Yeah, and that's how it kind of started. I was 13 years old, bro. Crazy.
So yeah, going back to like their probably your first release. I've noticed that the first release was this track called "On and On," which is I think is a cover, right? Like
Mhm.
2014. It was released on Spotify. I'm sure you had more releases before this through SoundCloud, but usually we just look at Spotify as like one of those because it's really where it's at right now, right? So we saw this, and I saw like you were working with this girl named Elisa Bernal, which is she's also is she Filipina as well?
Nah, a lot of people think she is. That's actually one of my ex-girlfriends. Uh, yeah.
Oh,
But you know how
Shout
the
out.
history goes. We made great music back then, and it lives, and a lot of fans like that song. So we let it live and let the
I,
music speak for itself.
yeah, I thought she was Filipino because the family name's Bernal. It's a common family name as well here in the Philippines. But yeah, so I was talking earlier to Ru AREYOU, and if you listen to his stuff, you know that it's coming from a producer's perspective. Like it's just a big fan of the Neptunes. I grew up like not grew up. Of course, I was already college at that time, but like I was so into that same feeling you had when you listen to it because I mean, I was so proud that when I saw NERD live in Singapore for the first time, I was one of those people like, finally, like the bucket list, right?
Mhm.
I'm a big fan, like even the way, yeah, the swag and everything, right? And when did you decide to like, sort of like, I can see that it's all beat stuff that you have here. So what was the first track that you work with maybe a singer songwriter or a rapper?
That's a crazy question because it kind of goes before like Spotify and Apple Music. But I say when Apple Music and Spotify was a thing, I would say it would have to be like Duckworth. Um,
Okay.
yeah, he's from South Central LA.
Yeah, it's a crazy name drop.
Oh yeah, like that's my
I
boy,
love
man.
Duckwood.
Yeah, we we've been making music for a while, and like his his sound, bro, like it's very NERD esque towards that
Mhm.
direction. We're kind of like offsprings of those times. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? As for
Yeah,
like a bunch of other generations, like or not like a bunch of other people out there in the world, it's just they just influence so many people. You know what I mean? In general.
yeah, this is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also checked out. Sorry if I have to go back with like the first single with Elisa Bernal, but
Yeah, it's all good.
the yeah, I saw in the stats that she worked for. She kind of has this connection with Star Trek. Is that true?
Yeah, so she was signed to Star Trek.
And
Um,
that's the closest thing you'll ever have to like someone like Pharrell or Chad Hugo, man.
right, yeah. And the craziest thing is she didn't before she signed with them, she didn't know who they were. So she comes from like a whole different world. So when she got signed, she started to learn about that world, and then she
Mhm.
met me a little bit after, and then I'm kind of like the same vibe, you know what I mean? So it's like things happen for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
Have you actually met
For
the duo Neptunes?
I haven't, man. I feel like I would just start crying if I met if I met. I call him dad. I'll just be like, yo, if I met the dad, bro, like it would be a wrap
Yes,
for
bro.
me, bro.
Oh
You know?
man, like I know the feeling, man. I was just watching them. I mean, of course, Chad wasn't there because that was a Singapore event, and Pharrell had like it was NERD. The concert was NERD, but Chad Hugo wasn't there. I'm sure you know that Chad Hugo's Filipino, right? So I
Yep.
was so
God.
uh, yeah, so I was like just watching Pharrell, man. Like I had a teary eyed man,
Yeah.
It's like, so I know how it feels like. So anyways, like the influence is so strong you as a producer. So what made you decide to go into like more than just being a producer now? Is it all
So
um looking at the Neptunes, Pharrell's doing it, like, so it's something that you wanted to work your skills at?
yeah, so he was kind of like the main influence of like how I wrote, because he wrote about his swag. You know what I mean? He wrote about how geeky he was pretty much in the culture. So I have friends that are in the culture that's in the other lane as far as like, gang banging and things like that, but I don't live that life. You know what I mean? I could never live that life because I lived in a better influence. You know what I mean? So um
Yeah.
for me, it was going on tour with Justin Bieber in 2016, because
Mm.
I was generally making beats like every day. Even in the back before the show, I would make beats. You know what I mean? But then eventually, I was bringing my mic and my interface, and I was setting up shop in my hotel room. And eventually, I'm like going through all these experiences, and I'm like catching these melodies. You know what I mean? And eventually, kind of just took over me pretty much. And yeah, it was definitely the traveling, that helped me put myself in those like perspectives and seeing the world in a different light.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
that's
just yeah, short background on that thing, like because you mentioned like when we actually found out, like me and Boy Grudge found out that you actually is part of the dance side of like dance group of Bieber. How like were you? Was that your foundation also, like being a dancer? Like
Yeah. So before the music, at the age of 4, I started doing martial arts, taekwondo, watching Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, all that, right? That really influenced me at a young age. So that was my main goal, was to be like the next Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan,
mm,
you know what I mean? But music kept pulling me in. Like by the time I was like 13, I was like, oh my God, I can't get my mind off like making music. Like it's just so fascinating to me. But I
yeah.
continued the whole martial arts career, and competing and things like that. Till the age of 20, I moved to LA to pursue stunts and things like that. But then again, I'm still doing music, right? So within that career, I was doing music too, like continuously just working, like just kind of like in my dungeon, just boom, just working on my music.
Yeah.
And I did want to take that leap at some point. And this is a weird story. So I had a friend, shout out Kyle Cordova. He was working with Chris Brown for one of his music videos as like a stunt guy. And he ended up becoming friends with Chris. And he brings me around. And of course, I'm going to show my music to him. And during this
Of course.
time, yeah, so during this time, we were just hanging out like buddies. It was super interesting and like far fetched for me, because I'm just like, damn, I just moved to LA. I'm just kicking it with this like superstar. This is super weird. And then so I booked my first gig in LA. it was the Grammys with Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith. It was for when Karate Kid came out.
Never
And
Say Never, like that song.
yes, bro,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was for that song at the Grammys. And we had a little segment, and then that was cool, right? And then I get a call from Kyle. He was like, "Yo, you trying to go to the studio with Chris Brown?" And at this point, I'm just like, there's something in me that just wants to go sleep because I'm so tired. But I'm like, yo, this is a perfect time to just like see what's good, right? So I go home. I wasn't even gonna like get my laptop or anything. I don't know why. I just felt like maybe I should, maybe I should. I'm glad I did at the end of the day, because when I went to the studio, I played him the first beat, and he was like, "Bro, whose beat is this?" And then my boy Kyle was like, "Oh, it's Rudy's beat." And then so right then and there, Chris starts writing, like rapping, and I can honestly say I started Chris Brown's rap career. From that day on, he
Whoa!
started rapping.
Yo, you heard it here first, man. That is nuts. No, dude, that is crazy.
From that point, before that song, it was like, what was that? That song.
Look at me now,
It was with Kevin McCall, Deuces.
dude. Yeah, Deuces. Yeah.
So that song was blown up during that time, and Kevin McCall was coming to the studio a lot and producing and writing with Chris at the time. And so Chris writes his verse, Kevin comes in, writes his verse, and the beat though is like on some Ninth Wonder type beat, right? Like it was like soul beat, you know what I mean? Like it was a flip. And I'm tripping, bro. I'm like over here sitting on the couch, like all cold and shit, like shivering a little bit, like damn, this is really
I
happening.
bet you tripping, man.
I'm tripping, bro. And it was like after the Grammys, like first big gig, right? And I'm over here like, damn, this is actually my life. I don't even know what's going on right now. So I'm glad this is like being documented, because I'm kind of just reliving this life right now. Because if I would have relived that life right now, it would be a whole different story. But anyways, if you listen to the record, it's very like New Yorkish, you know what I mean? It's very like hip hop. And this is when he wanted to put out a mixtape, and that mixtape's called Boy in Detention. And so he writes his verse, boom, boom. He explains like, yo, I want to do this like black and white music video in the alleyway, things like that. And
He's describing the Deuces video, bro.
yeah. But then this is the thing, like after he cut the record that I produced, we went to the alleyway of the studio and then shot the video for the song that I produced, which is called, this is funny, it's called Real Hip Hop Shit #1. So you can look that up on like YouTube, and it's funny, bro. When I look back at that, I'm like, this is hilarious.
Oh, so hold on a second. You're one of your credits is Chris Brown.
It gets lost in there. I forget about that.
Oh man, that like, now we're gonna research on that too. You know?
Yeah, how did we miss that one? That's crazy.
But yeah, so
at that time though, I was going by the name of Rufio, and I'm totally glad that I switched up my name because
Roofie.
I can't be rocking with Rufio anymore. I know Dante Bosco too, and the first time I met him, he was like, we looked at each other and stared at each other for like a hot minute. We were like, we could be cousins.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, we kind of just like, I haven't seen him in a minute since like we had this like rehearsal for this one movie that fell through. But during that time, I was like, this dude literally could be my cousin.
Rufio is like, isn't that the guy from the Peter Pan movie, right? Yeah, and that particular name, yeah. And he's Pinoy. He's Filipino, right?
Filipino, yep.
Yeah. So how did you going back to that, because like it looks so surreal, like the story that you have, man, it's amazing. But like, how did you get into the dance side of things for Bieber?
Okay, so like I said, in 2010, I booked that gig for the Grammys for Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith. From that point on till like 2015, around that time, I kept going to auditions, to Bieber auditions, and shout out to Nick Demora. He was the one that kind of like watched my progress, because what I would do is audition for the tricking side, so the martial arts tricking, like the expertise, and then I would do the audition for the choreography, and I would always kill it and make it, and I would always get booked. And I did like at least 6 or 7 gigs with Bieber from auditioning. And then by 2015, it was at the end of 2015, because we went on tour in 2016. He gives me a call, and he was like, "Yo, what are you doing for the next 2 years?" And I was like, "I don't know. Probably do like random gigs with Quest Crew, because I'm part of Quest Crew as well."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably just do like gigs with Quest Crew and work on music." Because I don't know. For me, I just like creating and kind of just going with the flow. And eventually, like, blessings just come to me, because I'm just in this like position of patience, I guess. And I believe like hard work pays off, and eventually it is. You know what I mean? But that's exactly what happened. He just gave me.
He said, "Oh, that sounds cool, but do you want to come on tour for 2 years?"
Yeah. And the dope thing was, he was like, "So it's gonna be you and the other dude that I named, Kyle Cordova, which was Chris Brown's friend at the time. He's a tricker as well. So he was like, it's gonna be you and Kyle Cordova. We want you to be the martial arts trickers for it. And then with 2 other specialty, which is the B-boys. And at the time it was Kid David. Shout out to Kid David. I'm actually wearing his merch. Love.
Right.
And Luigi, shout out to Luigi. That's I call him my Yoda. But yeah, it's crazy because Kyle and I are the first martial arts trickers to tour the world ever. And having that status is very, like, I feel so accomplished, because now I can be like, okay, I can move on to this next with music, you know. So yeah,
it's very important for like that culture as well. Like
100%.
Yeah.
And
Been too much in
actually,
the light.
yeah. When in that note, like, of course, I want to dig deeper with Ru AREYOU's career, like things that happens to him, because in that note, like, I want to segue that, like, it's like the law of attraction. So that's the song that we're gonna listen to right now. This is something that you did way back in 2018 with an artist named Subi. Is it Subi?
Yeah, shout out Subi.
Yeah,
she's a dope. She's a dope vocalist and a dope graphic designer, artist. She's multifaceted.
Okay, let's listen to this one for a bit. Just sort of a tease of what this song is, and you can find this in all streaming apps. And just look for Ru AREYOU. This is Law of Attraction right here on Behind This Beat.
Baby, you're mine, lady. Learning the ways of the law of attraction. Made up my mind and I'm cleansing my lenses.
Using my senses.
And somehow you orbit my globe. Somehow you orbit my globe. Universal audio, universal audio. I know you fucking with me.
Fucking with me.
Mentally, physically, and spiritually. What
How was on the train? Were we just step by the air.
All right, that was
The aria.
yeah, that was a track called "Law of Attraction." Yeah, you hear it here on behind this beat. We're still with Ru Are You right now, so yeah, let's talk more about what you've been doing after that track. I know we're going into the part where you actually started, yeah, doing your own thing like rap, aside from being just a producer. So, could you give us a bit of story there, like how it started for you, and then what was the first song that you did?
Yeah. So like I said, I was on tour with Justin Bieber, and throughout the time of traveling, I would record music, and I was somewhere in uh Ecuador, super random, and I decided to make a song about like uh how I got to where I am at that moment in time. And in the verses I explain like when I was a young kid, how I started making music, where I was mentally, in the first verse, like, and it's called "Realize You," and I didn't know I was gonna make a song that kind of based off of like pretty much like my purpose in life, which is to share with the world and let them know that realize you. What it means is infinite recreation of self. And I believe every day, every moment, every second, you have that chance to let it click in your mind like, hey, this is what I want to be. You know what I mean? So yeah, Realize You was the first record that I wrote and produced, um, to be
Yeah,
considered like my first song.
yeah.
Nice.
Also, I just wanted to I noticed in all when you about this song, aside from it being like one of your first title track, to be rapping on it, and singing on it, like it's the thing is, I noticed that this is also I've seen like posts of you doing like merchandise with this particular name. So is this also your merch line?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to create a line that was separate from me, only because it's more powerful than I am. You know what I mean? I believe the statement, the brand Realize You, is so powerful in that title. It deserves its own light. So yeah, that's kind of my separate. It's like my child. You know what I mean? Like music is my child. This is also my child as well.
Yeah. If people want to check out that merch, where could you find that?
You can find Realize You at realizeyou.co, and we ship worldwide. We got some fly shit on there. You know my background.
Alright, check-
I love like Bape and Brain Dead. I could talk a whole little section about like fashion and that whole world. But yeah, Realize You, baby.
Yeah, I have a feeling. I have a feeling when we could be like hanging out, man. We'd probably be talking the same things. Like I'm a
Yeah,
big fan, like especially the Japanese street culture, man. It's just amazing. Like I've been sort of like representing that since like early 2000s. Like those things. Yeah, but yeah, I'm so pumped up looking at the merch, man. I was like, oh man, I gotta get one of those, man.
yeah,
So
oh, man.
maybe in the future, let's like try to distribute that here in the Philippines.
Sure.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, but some new opportunities there. But yeah, so let's listen to "Realize You" and then talk more to "Ru Are You." So this is produced also by you, and yeah, you're on it, right? So
Yes, sir.
all right, let's listen to this one. This is "Realize You," released 2019, right here on Behind This Beat.
Rare. you smoke, you dream less. Word. So I've been cutting back to see I'm blessed. But the dish is so vivid it gives me chills. Like drugs, we do them for the thrills. Yeah. Hear that shit, that sound like NERD. No one ever really dies. Mixed with a little bit of dance, give a dance. Let it all out. Screaming like I'm young again, feeling reckless. Rebellious like I'm robbing fences. I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid from Sacramento. I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid from Sacramento. I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid from Sacramento. If I could do it, you could do it too. If I could do it, you could do it too. All you gotta do is just realize you. Yeah, realize you. All you gotta do is just realize you. Yeah, realize you.
Yes, that was the kid from Sacramento. Ru AREYOU, of course. He's here with us on Behind This Beat. Let's talk more to him. Yes. Yeah. Tell us. More.
I feel like I was in the motel room with you, listening to that.
It was trippy.
Traveling around the world.
Yeah, it was trippy to like write that song because like subconsciously you like that's one of my things about music is like I don't think about like, oh, I'm gonna make this song. Like it kind of happens for me. You know what I mean? Because when I overthink it, what I want to make, it doesn't come out how I wanted
Yeah.
it. You know?
That makes me jealous because like when I'm recording a track, I'm always like sort of overthinking. I need to like overthink, not to overthink. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just like don't try overthink. But no, it's crazy.
It's crazy because the journey of music kind of taught me to like let go and just seize the moment and be there and be present and just let the universe do what it needs to do for that moment for you. And eventually you start to just dive in and be in a flow state, you know what I mean? And you're kind of just like you're just you're present.
Yeah. You practice meditation daily?
I definitely do. For sure do. Because I mean, especially in this time, man, you got to have that control of your mind. If you don't got that control of your mind, it's very tough to
take a toll.
Maneuver. Yeah. And I believe within like, you know, the small messages that I have in my music, my art, it's very important to influence the subconscious of the listener, you know, and hopefully they catch on.
Yeah. Shout out. That's respect, man.
Thank you, bro.
Amen to that, man. Like, yeah. So we have established already, right? So we've established already that you're a rapper, songwriter, producer, martial artist, you know, dancer. Is there anything we don't know yet that you probably are good at? You know?
I don't know, man. I just be doing things and it just comes out dope. That's what I'm just so interested in. So like, you know, like I just really just submerge myself into whatever I like doing and it comes out the way it does. I don't know, bro. I like
maybe you're probably good at cooking. We just don't know it.
I like cooking. I could cook up like a mean ass meal. It's not I'm not crazy shit yet, but it's good. Like
you cook some Filipino dishes, adobo.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone that direction to be honest.
Yeah,
which is kind of bad to say right now, but I'll pick up on it.
Same. Yeah, but speaking of like culturally, like being Filipino and all, like are there some practices that you've been like? I mean, you've grown to love being Filipino in the Bay Area. I mean, in Sacramento, or like, you know, like, are you surrounded by friends who are also Filipinos?
Oh, for sure. As when being a Filipino in Sacramento is pretty common, actually. There's a lot of Filipinos out here because they come from the Bay. A lot of like early generations came out here to settle out here, especially in Stockton. You know what I mean? So it's very deep into the culture of the NorCal culture. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're all about an hour and a half, 2 hours drive from each other, like Sacramento, Stockton,
Yep.
and San Fran. Yeah.
Exactly. Daly City, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like I have family everywhere in NorCal. And so yeah, it's very
Yeah.
heavily influenced out here.
Yeah, the reason why I also asked that is that actually it's going to segue because that's another thing that how I got to know you is through this. So I mean, I've heard of you because of DJ Marlino and I think DJ Marlino of Heavy Rotation is pushing for that Filipino global movement as well. So, like, was this was there any like I wanted to ask if like certain channels were there already when you were growing up with like the Filipino community and music being pushed by certain Filipino communities there, or like this was like is this so new for you as well? Because like now there's actually two channels now that you could talk about. You could connect, you know, with all other Filipino artists globally.
Right. Shout out DJ Marlito with Heavy Rotation. Yeah, but we didn't really have that growing up. It's super rare. It still is. And just having two platforms right now is pretty rare, but it's super awesome because now the Filipinos have a platform to really look forward to and be like, yo, I want to get on, you know, Heavy Rotation or beat this. And that's a beautiful thing for Filipinos, you know what I mean? Because we didn't have that back then.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I remember I found out about him yeah through that and like I first heard the song Dance and I was just like, oh my god, who's this guy? Like, you know, like so I was asking, you know, like, hey man, like do you could you connect me? So I think I'm not sure if I messaged you directly first or I asked Marlino for contact, but I know that that was really how it all started with that track called Dance and I love the vibes. I can hear that whole yeah that Neptune's vibe, but then it was done differently, you know, in a way. There's still that whole uniqueness to it. So I was like, man, you know, I got you know I gotta get on there. Like I gotta know who this guy is. Like you know,
Yeah.
so yeah, tell us about that track, man. Like yeah, because I know there's like there's a highlight there with Sackboy, and most people have to know who he is, and I think most people know who he is if we tell them who who he is a dancer of, right? So
Yeah. So Dance is featuring Sackboy, aka Phil Tayag. And this was his first record in a while because he was doing music back then too, which is through like family. And they were like heavily, and they were like a big influence with me back in the day because I remember pulling up to my cousin Kilo's house, and he would have sessions with Phil, and they would be rapping and things like that. So moving forward, Phil and I create this record, Dance, and it's funny because I came across this record and it was just a demo and he was at the house and I was like, bro, I think it's a perfect record for you to be on. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. And he ended up getting on the record and we went full force on it. And it was just the timing, you know what I mean? Where he was like, yo, I want to take this step back into music. And so that was a perfect lead way to do it. We did a music video. He came out to LA. We shot the music video. We did the whole thing and we pushed it to Rosalind. Shout out to Rosalind. And then I think that's how DJ Marlino found out. And then the whole situation started to like formulate. And yeah, that record is I love that record, man. That's a hit record, I think.
yeah, it's like yeah, probably the ripple effect was like then I saw that, you know, and then so I've been like ever since that time I was always like observing like what you're doing, and like, I had to reach out, and like even Ru Are You and I were talking last year, like last quarter of last year before COVID, of the plans of actually promoting him more in the Philippines, until this whole COVID situation came, and we were like, oh, okay, it was like, so, but yeah, now like with that song really is I like it because like it's so I mean, I'm actually expecting more from Sackboy, but like I don't know, like I haven't really heard much after that. Like is he doing like, are you doing more songs with him?
Yeah, so he has a record out right now called In My Way, produced by Southsack P and co-produced by me. And that's his only record right now. His solo record. He's just sitting on it. He's just kind of plotting. Knowing Phil, he's always got something up his sleeve. So kind of just have to watch out and see what he does.
That's awesome, man. Like, so yeah, let's listen to this one for a bit, and then after that, probably like do some shout outs. Some people are watching. Some of the friends in the industry are actually there, and this is a dance. The track was released around 2020. Yeah, just this year, early this year. And this is with Sackboy, of course, produced by Ru Are You, and he's part of this too.
Dance, Gucci with your bands. You got pretty hands. Count my money, dance. I need you to dance. Gucci with your bands. You got pretty hands. Count my money, dance. I need you to dance. Dance. I need you to dance. Yeah, dance, hey, I need you to dance like you saving up money for the culture. All the Gucci sugar high like the cola. She got it poppin', got a crush on her soda. Window open, let her shine, white mocha. Keep it classy with the sweets, I'm a roca. Real cuddly in the sheets and the sofa. I be smooth with the drip, be your OGs. I be working on my craft, keep it low key.
It comes from inner peace,
Inner peace like Master P, I'm about it, I'm about it. I can see you right through you, bitch, I'm psychic, I'm psychic. Out of my way, I'm tryna see her dance. Gucci with the bands, yeah, dance. Gucci with your bands, you got pretty hands.
Yeah, that was a track called Dance, of course, coming from Ru Are You, featuring Sackboy. And if you want to look at the music video, it's actually out right now on YouTube. You can just check it out. Just look for them there. And we'll probably put in our show notes so that you'll get to know what I am talking or what we're talking about. So again, Ru, are you still here? But before that, I just want to say hi to some people. Yeah, Lexter the Virus. Hi, man. Thanks for watching, doing a like. Paulo, Victor Ramos, Rem Brofar, Raymond de Castro Gonzalez, Tess Banyaga Ala, and then Pedro Coloma, Norily Reynon, and Zyril Zunio. Thanks for actually giving us a like. Shout out to all of you. All right. You know anyone there that I mentioned?
Yeah. That's my mom in there. Shout out to mom.
Hey, Tita.
Yeah. That's Mama
All right,
Ray.
So yeah, so moving on, let's talk more about your latest actually EP. We are going to play a New Energy in a bit, but yeah, let's talk about that that particular song right now. Like from Dance, it was yeah. I was just like, well, like, you know, I was vibing to that, and I was just waiting for your next release, man. And then, you know, then New Energy came in, and I was like, yeah, this is it. The Chosen doesn't. This is the Chosen one, man.
Let's go. Yeah, I love New Energy. That's one of my favorite songs right now. It just it honestly, it's like a reminder for myself to live life to the fullest every day, even if you need to sleep. Like, live that like life, like sleep, bro. Like, recharge. You know what I mean? It's a balance in life, and every day it's a holiday, bitch. Like, you got to remember that, because every breath you take, you know what I mean? Every second, every millisecond, like it could be taken away in an instant. You got to think about that. And you know what I mean? And every day you have to realize like it's a chance to just live life. You're not gonna live that again, you know? So
where did you guys shot the video? Looks like a really cool video. You were like on top of looks like was it a mountain or you know?
yeah, it's somewhere deep in the valley in LA. Um yeah, it looks like we're super far away, but it's actually just like in a hiking area in LA. There's a lot of hiking areas. I don't remember off top where it was, but my boy, shout by Kyle Cordova, the dude I was talking about earlier, he was like, he knows all these spots, so he plugged me with that spot. And New Energy, the music video, was shot by Andrew Franz. Shout out Andrew Franz.
Awesome,
Nice.
man. Like, yeah.
Hey,
So
me
yeah,
and Alex need to come over there once this COVID stuff's over and hang out and take us to those
no, no,
spots.
actually,
Need a holiday, bro.
Instantly,
yeah,
you already know where to find me, bro.
yeah. Or the other way around. You need to come here to the Philippines, man. We're gonna show you around, man.
Oh, please. I'm there in
Yeah.
an instant.
I mean, both Australia and the Philippines, you're gonna love the beaches, man. That's where it's at.
You talking
You know?
about language. I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
And do you consider yourself more of a city guy or like a nature guy?
both. Like I love being in the city. I love being in nature. Like you can't tell me to like stick to one. I gotta be going back and forth. Like
Okay, so,
without nature,
Balance.
yeah, without nature, how in the hell are you gonna like recharge? And then when you're in the city, how can you not get that like that city influence, that vibe that everybody brings to the table?
Mm.
You know what I mean? But yeah, there's nothing better than nature though, to be honest. If I really had to choose, I would definitely be in the nature more than being in the city because just there's something about just being in around nature, bro.
There's a higher energy.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah, we are actually talking more about the singles that it's out there. But if you guys, listeners, right now, if you look at the catalog of Ru AREYOU, he actually has a lot of full albums that are beats oriented, right? Like since 2017, you had WI or Y.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had XY in 2018, and you had Butterfly in 2019, and A Rare Evening, right?
Mhm.
And I think Rare Evening has more. It's like a mixed thing. You even have a track here with Duckworth, right?
Yeah, called "Give Me That." I love that joint. That was definitely like a joint that I. It's like my version of "Beautiful" with Pharrell and Snoop Dogg because I was actually in Rio de Janeiro, and I think like 2 or 3 cities later, I made that song thinking about those times, and then
Uh,
I was like, "Oh, this is a perfect song for Duckworth to be on because he's just on that vibration as well." So
Mm.
luckily, I got him on there, and yeah, the rest is history. That's our little like, well, that's my version of "Beautiful."
cool. Take a quick listen to this one, and then I talk more about your releases. This is "Gimme That." With Duckworth, one of the releases under A Rare Everything, which was released 2019. Let's listen to this one. This is Behind This Beat.
All star tonight, I feel like hopping on a cop car, doing my dance, screaming, saying fuck war. Dancing on a cop car, saying fuck war, like an Indian chief screaming fuck war. I adore the rebellious things that you live for. Like fuck this system, let's make this art, make this love, let's make love right now on this dance floor. You a crazy one, roll your R's, you a star. Feel that beat, baby girl, you get me hard. Like a tree trunk, yeah, standing tall, so amazing. Super wet, girl, it's raining. Shake that rump, take it on back, let me feel that tongue. Give me that, give me that, give me that funk. Give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that,
Yeah, that's Gimme That. Duckworth, featuring Duckworth from the album A Rare Everything, of course, by Ru AREYOU, released 2019. Okay, so yeah, you know what? Like, I just also wanted to point out when you were releasing this, I look at the numbers of your Spotify release, and actually, I wanted to ask you because you got like one track that got into 1 million streams, which is Go DeMarcus, and yeah,
Yeah. So I don't even know how that one got a million plays. I think it just got popular on TikTok playlist, and then
yeah,
kind of just took off. I don't know why. You know, like how people say, like, um, there's this one record that you just don't know why it got that many plays. That's my record. Like, I don't know why that one, people love that one so much, but at the end of the day, my music isn't for me anymore. You know, when it's released, it's for the people. So
Yeah,
the
for
people choose.
everyone to tune into.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was listening to that just a couple of days ago, and I was like, wow, like 1 million. You know, I was like, how did that feel? Like, I have 1 million streams.
Yeah. It just felt super random, I guess. But I'm very appreciative, and shout outs to whoever discovered that song and put it on that TikTok playlist. And I would definitely say it has to deal with the algorithm. You know what I mean? As far as where your song is placed and things like that. So
Yeah.
again, shout outs to whoever's working that playlist, and I'm glad you guys love that song.
Shout out.
Yeah.
So all of your releases, Ru AREYOU, is independently released, right? Like that's basically, you don't have a label, or are you like in a label, or how
No
does that
label.
work?
I got my own
Yeah.
little label called Alora Sounds Records, but that's just a cool name I put my under. And I just been rocking with that name for a while now. So eventually, maybe it might be a major kind of
Yeah.
thing for me. But right now, it's kind of just a cool name.
Yeah.
You still do you still see like an advantage if you like do it on your own or be part of a label there? Like how's the music business in Sacramento, like how it's done there? Are you advantage if you're an indie? Like,
Yeah, I get to release music anytime I want and make decisions on my own. And the more and more I put myself in this music career, I learn how to maneuver and to be successful off of a body of work. Um, every time I release a new body of work, it's almost like a new beginning. Um, and yeah, I see the vision clearer and clearer, you know what I mean? And I just want to keep creating and evolving and working with dope people. And that's it.
yeah. Yes, you know what? Like, we're gonna talk more about now the EP that you just released last September 23, right? So,
Sir.
because I just noticed it's already an hour. You know, that was fast.
Yeah.
You know,
I blacked out after he said he produced with Chris Brown. I'm just coming back after that.
We was chopping it up. Yeah.
so this new EP has 4 tracks in it, and of course, New Energy is part of that, which I haven't really played. I'll probably have New Energy as our last song before after we wrap up everything. But so we look at the EP. Talk us more about this EP, and because before this, I know you released a 2020 full on like 12 beat tracks called "I Love You," right? So
I did.
so
Yeah.
yeah, so that was like after that just tell us a bit of the story when how
Uh,
this turned.
so I Love You was kind of presented randomly. Those are just throwaway demos that I kind of just packaged together, just for the time being of people being locked down and quarantined and things like that. And I thought it was a good body of work for people to kind of sit with and kind of just meditate on. And then eventually, a couple months later, I run into New Energy, and that song kind of sparked the EP Flow State. And Flow State, I would say it's like a reminder EP for people to remember that even though the world is on fire and things like that, of that sort, it's something for you to make of it. You know what I mean? Because then again, you only exist in that time frame, like right now. And that's kind of like what this EP is about. It's like being present, shifting that energy and turning it how you want it to be.
You're in control. Yeah.
Exactly. Because that's the power. That's the power in any situation. And a lot of people kind of forget that. And
Sure.
honestly, yeah, like it's just kind of like a reminder, like even though
It's such an important message, man. Like, if anyone can take anything from this podcast, it would be that. You know?
definitely, yeah. And at the end of the day, like internally, with the lyrics and things like that, there's a deeper meaning. But when you listen to it externally, you know, soundscape and things like that, the sound in general is a bounce, and you're dancing. You know, you kind of lose yourself into that vibe. So that's where I kind of wanted to put you in, with these 4 tracks. So yeah, that's
I definitely got that streaming it. Yeah, like it felt
Right.
like just one whole. I don't know. What was I doing when I listened to it? I think I was cleaning. I was cleaning the house or something,
nice.
and
Perfect.
it was so dope.
And
Yeah,
zoning, yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to take note to take this time to ask you this question because when I was looking at the art, then I really love the art of the cover art of this EP. Like it has this like metal font with like you know how the like that metal looking font, but then it's so contrast between the sort of like the meditation figure there, like someone meditating, and then it's like you know like a metal, you know.
It's like the
Yeah.
yin and yang. It's like
font.
the
So
energy concept as well. Like
who did the art for that? It's like and yeah, what was the inspiration?
So my boy One T Gel, he's actually from like Brisbane or Melbourne. I met him out there. He's the one that designed the cover, and I met him out there in 2016, 2017, and he was like, "We're gonna work one day." And then, like, I think 2 years later or 3 years later, he also did the Rare Evening cover, and then he did Flow State cover. And how we brought up the concept of it, I wanted something that kind of course, was aesthetically pleasing, but what nailed the cover art was the font. And to me, when I look at the font, he calls it grunge, and I definitely agree with that. But to me, it looks like electricity. And
bro, that's what I was gonna say when Alex was describing it. It's like electricity. That's what it feels like.
yeah, and if you kind of relate electricity to energy,
Mm.
that's kind of the concept of where that lives. And yeah, I really believe, like, you know, everything is energy, and it's up to us to take that responsibility to change it how we want it to be.
Awesome. So yeah, so like right now, let's take a listen to one because there's 4 here. Of course, later I'm gonna be ending the show with New Energy, but I want to specifically. I mean, I've been listening to this for the whole week, man, just to get me prepped up on this interview, you know. But yeah, I'm specifically going to play Maganda because you know this is out of the 4. You actually have a title here that is in Tagalog, you know. So I wanted to ask you, do you speak Tagalog? Of course, you probably know what Maganda means. It's like beautiful. And
Yeah.
why did you use that as your title for this track?
So, first of all, I don't speak. I feel so bad that I said that, but I don't speak.
I think you get a
Uh,
pass, bro. You can
but
do everything else. So
yeah, but
Yeah,
uh,
you don't have to worry, Ru, because like Boy Graduate here didn't speak that much either. I think he just started doing his lessons a month ago, right?
oh,
I'm 4 months in, but it feels like a month because I'm struggling. But yeah.
that's dope though. What are you doing? Are you doing like Rosetta Stone or something like that?
It's three like lessons a week, 1 hour lessons. I had one before this actually. So
Fire.
just to keep me like accountable, I
Sample,
guess.
sample, daw, sample.
Uh pagkatapos pagkatapos si interview tumaktakbo na ako. After this interview, I'm gonna go for a run.
Hey, power, that's power. But yeah, Maganda, the reason why I titled that is because I wanted to let the generation before my generation, to let them know they're beautiful for letting us experience this time in uh in this time, because we're back then they weren't able to do any of the stuff that we do in this generation, like pursue our dreams and become artists and things like that, right? So I kind of like take you on a trip on like a reflection of paying ode to the generation before us, like my parents, my grandparents. You know what I mean? They're the ones to set the bar for us, the new generation, to be able to experience the things that we do in the clubs and things like that. You know what I mean? So there's a contrast to it. But yeah, that's one reason why I named it Maganda.
It's a nice concept. And shout out the older generation as well. I don't think they get enough love
Mm,
um in regards to that. Like
right.
I don't think like I know my generation forgets that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's listen to this one. This is Maganda, of course, from the Flow State EP, of courtesy of Ru Are You. Let's listen to this and talk more, and probably just wrap up because it's been like wow, it's been fun talking to you. And like, I know it's already like almost probably 1 in the morning there. So let's wrap this up after this. This is Maganda, right here and behind this beat. Ru Are You.
You look so pretty, like model, cheerleader, something pretty.
NorCal, 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 boy all over the place. Say yeah. NorCal, worldwide, boy all up in this. Homegrown, call me in the zone, ayy. I ain't talking blown, ayy. Good from Sacramento, ayy. City of the trees, though. Watch out for the smoke, though. So potent that'll get you killed, though. Killed, though. Killed, though. I got beats in the bundle off the boatload. FOB first gen, set the cash flow. Set a movement for me to be this dope. Money ties for the next gen, put a rope. Yeah, it took a long time. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, you get the vision. Yeah, coach your own log, yeah, the grind don't stop, but right now I gotta make a decision. Hold up, you, so pretty, you and you, hold up, hey, you, so pretty, say, hold up, which one I say you, so pretty, okay, yeah, you, so pretty, hold up, all 3, all 4, all 5, go.
Bro, that ass in circles. Bro, it in rotation.
Yeah, Maganda. That is a track coming from Flow State, of course. Ru Are You? That is the EP that is out there. So please, everyone listening, make sure to stream that. It's all available in all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Right? So let's talk more to Ru Are You right now. Yeah, man, it's been an hour. It's amazing. We had
Yeah.
a lot. Like this is a lot of great stories that you have, man. And as much as we want to take more of your time, I just want to probably pick two photo from your Instagram, because we usually like have this segment where we just look at Instagram posts and then like maybe describe like what it is. So right now, let's just check what you have here. We'll just pick two right now. So
All right.
let me just share this thing. Okay. There you go. So, okay. So there's a post here like around probably a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to be exact. And there you are actually you're reading a book. Looks to me like you're reading a book called Soul Love.
So,
So yeah, tell us about this particular moment.
so I borrowed that book from my homegirl Shantice. Shout out Shantice. Um, that book right there is almost like, because like I've read a bunch of self-help books and spiritual books, but leading up to reading that book, it was like I'm still reading it at till this day, but that kind of just opened up my mind to just like kind of put me at peace of why I'm in this path of like what my purpose is in life. You know what I mean? And that right there is kind of like, I don't know, they just look funny, but at the same time, it's on some real shit, you know. And if you look at the caption, it says borrowed Shanti's green book for an enhancement of flow state. It's literally that though, because when you do read books like this, you're just opening up like segues and things in internally where and things like you never really thought like you would ever be in. And it's dope to be in places of like spirituality like this, because first of all it's humbling, but at the same time it's like very empowering, you know. So I definitely would want my audience to read you know, self-help books, and that's one of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
so look,
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's move on to another post. I saw one here. Uh, Someone's actually wearing the flow state. This guy over here.
yeah,
Photos. So just tell us a bit what this is like, and yeah, the merch is out.
yeah, so that's my boy Jordan Ward. He's an artist as well. um his music's fire. I also produce for him, and he's also on a collective that I um run called Awesome Shit. And he's at the studio that I work out of in LA, downtown LA. It's actually a new studio. It's called Basewood Studios. And that's a little new venture that I'm a part of. And that's the new place that's gonna be, you know, the new hub for awesome boys and new people, new artists, and things like that. But yeah, it's funny he's wearing his pearls. Probably
Yes,
laughing at
like
something that I said.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Thank you for that, man. Like, I've been going through it, and I just wanted to just have at least like two because it's already an hour plus. But
All good.
usually we do like at least four. But yeah, that's well, let's wrap it up already because it's it's been a while now, and I know you need some rest. It's all it's on there. So yeah. Any more questions that you want to raise, boy graduate, before we actually wrap this whole thing and play our last track from Ru Are You?
no, not from me. I just want to say, man, I appreciate you for coming through and enlightening us with your journey. It's really incredible, dude. Like,
Thank you,
from
bro.
traveling the world with Justin Bieber and all that. Like, damn,
Thank you,
yeah,
brother.
I appreciate it, man. And I hope you join us again when we put more wheels to this podcast. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
hopefully we can all link up in the Philippines as well.
We
Uh,
gotta make that happen.
post COVID. We got to make that happen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually part of our our like boy graduate and I, part of our goal also is to have more guests, because we want boy graduate to be part of the collab of all the guests that we have. So
Yeah,
so
so
that's really the intention here. We want,
that's the whole premise.
that's all. So all the guests that we have, we want boy graduate to have a collab with them. No, no, no. We're just kidding. But for the, but yeah, I mean, if you have you ever been to the Philippines, Ru?
Yeah, when I was 3 years old, so not really. I don't
Mhm.
remember, but good thing we had a little video camera to capture some memories. But that's pretty much it. That's all I can remember.
Where
Yeah.
where where is the the area of your relatives here? Do you have like do you know or
Um, I don't remember off top, to be honest.
okay?
Somewhere in Cebu. That sounds so familiar to me. Uh, I don't want to say the wrong place, man, but I'm
Okay.
all over the place in the Philippines. To be honest, shit, trying to hit all the islands. Yeah.
You- yeah, man. Like yeah. So again, thank you for the
Oh,
time, man. It's
here we
such
go.
an amazing
Northern Luzon.
Northern Luzon. Okay,
There
okay,
it is. Yeah,
yeah.
that was in my
Okay.
head too. So
All
yeah,
right. So yeah, thank you again for joining us in this time. I know you're like it's been like it's always amazing to have guests that are as creative as you are. And yeah, you have any promotions you want to tell our listeners, like upcoming music videos or any upcoming things that you're doing? It's the right time now to actually tell everyone about that.
everybody just go stream Flow State on all platforms. If you're rocking with Tidal, stream it on there as much as you can. Realize You merch out now. RealizeYou.co. Follow me on Instagram, Ru_AREYOU. And same thing with Twitter. I'll be on there a lot. So holler at the
Same
kid.
here. Yeah,
So,
we'll put all that on our
On our
website as well.
Yeah, on our website will be there. You have any collabs that you wanna inform everyone to you know?
I got Melt featuring Jay Blaze. That's like the most recent collab, and that's on Flow State. Look out for the music video. That's about to be popping.
All right.
We got a lot of things like in works with Flow State. So just look out for the progressiveness. Is that even a word, progressiveness? Well,
No, it is
word
now.
now.
It is. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you always remember, man, that our support here in the Beat This Philippines is always there for you. So every time you have anything, you just like hit us up and tell us about it, and we will be featuring you on our website.
Much love. I can't wait to go out to the Philippines and share my art with them.
Yes,
That's
sir.
like one of my biggest like goals on my list. So
Let's make that happen, man. Let's make that happen once this COVID thing is going to be out of our way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, and Ru, are you? We're just gonna wrap it up, but just want to say goodbye to you, man, and like we appreciate you for being here.
Thank you. Fat Boy
Peace,
Lim,
Pepper.
boy graduate. Much love.
Much love, brother.
Salamat, salamat. Thanks, man.
Peace.
Okay, so that was Ru AREYOU again, and of course, it was such a great like discussion with him, and it's amazing, boy graduate, that I think if I may say, I think we're sort of getting the hang of it now. Everything's a bit smoother than like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we started. We're really new at this, but now I think yeah, we're getting the hang of it, and it's
We're
a good
getting the
thing that
hang
we
of it.
yeah, it's a good thing that we actually have this thing now with Ru AREYOU, because it's such a great podcast episode, right? So
Yeah.
again, if you guys want to listen to more of the episodes, you just go to www.beatthisph.com to know more about what we do on Beat This Philippines, and we are always here to really promote like what Filipino global music is about, right? It's not just about the Philippines only, but about the Filipinos that are out there. So we want to we want to bridge the gap, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of really great, talented producers, creative people, artists around there, right? So
And all you got to
next,
do is, keep checking into our podcast to solidify that. Like the
yeah,
amount of people that we're connecting and talking with, it's actually so
yeah,
crazy. I'm even blown away.
yeah, we're on all podcast platforms. So Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, you name it, Spotify, we're there. So also an article will be released on Sunday. About the episodes that we have. Of course, the courtesy by Boy Graduate, he does the write up there. And yeah, next week, next Friday, we're gonna be having someone from LA again. This time, a girl, Filipino-Indian-American, Ashley Meta, and we want to talk to her. I've kind of known her from last year, but this is the only time that like we're gonna be talking, like what happened to Annie Lux last time, right? So
yeah.
So this is good. This is good. So watch out for that. That's going to be on next Friday. And then if you want to know more about it, make sure to follow us on all our socials so you'll get the promo posters and see it for yourself, right? So anything else, boy graduate, before I play New Energy by Ru AREYOU to end the show?
No, that's it. I just want to say thanks again to Ru AREYOU, and everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah, follow us, and let's connect again this time next week, and have a good week ahead.
Yeah, so let's check this out. Such a great episode. This is, again, New Energy coming out from the Flow State EP. Ru AREYOU is on all streaming platforms. Let's listen to this one, and we got to say bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for listening to Behind This Beat podcast.
Goodbye, Palam.
Ru to the AREYOU. Feel liberated.
Realize you.
Feel liberated. Rare. Every day's a holiday, bitch. 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 Turn up. On the replay, burn up. Ay. Turn up. On the replay, burn up. Ay. No.